All right, good day. Today's total body fitness is going to be a Pilates based class, and we will be using a Pilates ball for many of the exercises. If you do not have a Pilates ball, you can use a block or maybe even just a rolled up towel or something that you can like squeeze and hold on to. The other two items that you might need today, if you have available, if not, that's okay, is some sort of loop band, ideally fabric for around your legs, and also a long resistance TheraBand type elastic band to pull. All right, we're gonna do a little warm up first before we get into the Pilates work. So we're gonna start with just moving forward and backwards with our feet. So you can take steps forward, you can take steps backwards. I'm gonna turn and go the length of my mat. So you're gonna take little steps pretty fast and quick to warm up the legs and then backwards. Be more cautious with your back steps. And then we go forward and back. Maybe even right away you already start to feel the legs working. All right, let's go ahead and just shake out those legs. We're gonna do a hip hinge. So you're gonna widen your stance, turn your toes forward, soft knees. You're gonna bow forward with a straight spine. I almost think of taking my hips backwards versus my shoulders forward because I wanna keep the weight into my heels. We're looking to feel a stretch in the back of the legs. As soon as you feel that stretch, you stop and you come back up. Let's do two more. And then keeping your legs wide, you're just going to move your hips a little right and left, side to side. You might feel a stretch in the inner thigh. You might feel a stretch on the side of your hip. Just kind of depends. Then we're going to bring those legs together and shake them out. We're going to do a couple of shoulder shrugs. So you're going to bring the shoulders up and down. Then we're going to do a standing cat and cow. You reach forward and pull back. You can do this just with the arms without using the spine. That is one option. The other is to actually extend and flex the spine. So you're going to reach forward and round the back and then pull your chest through, creating a little bit of an extension back bend. So you're going to bend the knees a little bit. Just makes it easier to balance versus a straight leg. You get a little bit more action too. If you got a little softness in the knees, that means your hips can compensate and counter that balance for you. And then you're going to come shake that out again, and we're going to twist. Let the arms actually plop and hit the body. So as you rotate, the arms are just going to swing and hit and swing and hit. And then we're going to pedal out the feet. So bring those feet closer together, and you're just going to lift one heel at a time. We're looking to stretch through the ankle and the bottom of the foot as well as your toes, and switch. And then we're going to alternate going the opposite, lifting a toe and a toe. And we're working the shin muscle, working on ankle mobility and strength. And then we're gonna rotate the arms. You're gonna think palms open as far as you can go, and then rotate in and out. Here we're warming up not only the wrist, at the elbow joint, maybe even a little bit through the shoulder. I'm not trying to do a whole lot of moving in the shoulders. It's really just the arm itself. And then we're going to take a little butt kicks. So we're going to bend each knee, kicking backwards, getting a little hamstring warm up. Don't over squeeze here. Just kind of think of it being a relaxed movement. And then we're going to transition to a high knee. Now you're going to march those knees up. We're going to repeat that. We're going to go back to the butt kicks, kicking back. And then bringing the knee up, high knee. And butt kick, let's do one more repeat. And then high knee. All right, shoulder roll, last little warm up here. Then we're gonna get all of our equipment, bring it down to the mat. We'll spend most of the time down on the floor, either on the hands and knees or on the back. So if you need a pad for underneath your knees, you can get one of those too. Okay, so here we are. We're gonna start with something between the knees, whether it's a ball, a block, a rolled up towel, a pillow, anything like that that you can squeeze inward. So you're gonna put your heels on the floor, got the ball or object between your knees, and you're gonna lean back just to take some of the tension out, and we're gonna squeeze that ball. Now, not only am I squeezing inward with the ball, but I'm gonna squeeze my glutes and feel like I'm pulling up my pelvic floor. That one's hard to see. I'm not just squeezing inward, I am squeezing inward and pulling up like I'm trying to lengthen my spine, bring my head even further back and up, and then release. Okay, so here we go. Squeeze, pull it up, belly in, and release. Squeeze, pull up, and release. It's hard to do. Squeeze, pull up, and release, and squeeze, pull up, and release. And one more. Squeeze, pull up, and release. You can come onto hands and knees. In hands and knees, we're going to just do a calf stretch. We're going to lean back into it a little ways and change of leg. You're going to extend, shift back, shift forward, and change. You can also do this on your elbows if you need to take pressure off of your wrists, or you can take your hands more forward to take pressure off the wrists as well. Make sure you're using your core and your leg strength to do most of the work and you're not just really falling onto those arms. Your head is lifted, belly is pulling in. As we are doing a calf stretch, we are also doing a core exercise. Taking this time here to go nice and slow. Okay, we're going to take this a little bit more advanced. So once you get into your calf stretch and you start to shift forward, you're going to lift the leg up, squeezing the glutes before you bring it in. You're going to extend back, calf stretch, push back, come forward, lift leg, squeeze glute, bring in. Extend, push back, lift leg as you come forward, squeeze the glute, bring it in. And switch legs. Calf stretch, pushing back, shift forward, lift leg, squeeze glute, bring it in. Again, extend, push back, stretch, rise up, lift, bring it in. And one more time. And then from here, we're going to shift back into child's pose. I'd like you to curl your toes under to stretch the bottoms of your feet and come down onto your elbows. All right, now we're going to come onto the back, all the way down onto the floor. You're going to need the object between your knees again. We're going to work towards a glute bridge. So your feet are going to be pretty close together because we're going to squeeze the object between the knees. That's the first thing we're going to start with, is the squeeze. From the squeeze, you're going to think of pushing your lower back to the floor. That's going to tilt your pelvis. From there, think of pulling the belly button in like you've got a pair of pants that don't quite fit. And then you're going to squeeze the glutes. You're going to feel even more of the tailbone start to come up off the floor. Try to maintain the squeeze in the ball, because at this point you might start to lose that squeeze. So make sure you get back to that. And then we'll release. So we're not even going to lift really the hips up yet. We're just working on the compression inward, the tilting, and the pulling up through the pelvic floor. So you're going to squeeze the ball, then think lower back to tilt, then keep squeezing the ball, and then start to lift it even more up, belly sucking in more, trying to get that pair of pants that don't fit because you overdid it at New Year's, and release. So you're really trying to work inners, glutes, and core, all three, but we're kind of easing each one into it, not trying to do it all at once. Here we go, inner thigh, squeeze. Then think lower back to tilt. Then you're going to start to bring that in more, butt squeezes more, belly in, abs are on, butt is on, belly in, squeezing. So you got all three going now. And release. Let's go again. Squeeze, flatten the back, belly draws in, glutes squeeze, inner thigh, glute, belly more. You're going to start to feel maybe even a little bit higher. You're going to get a little bit more out of it because your back is going to start to stretch some. And release. So we're tightening all this in the front to create space in your vertebra. And here we go again. We're going to squeeze, tilt, belly in, keep squeezing, keep lifting, squeeze the glutes, pull it in, and lower down. Go ahead and remove your ball, and we're going to windshield wiper those legs from side to side. I'd like the feet wide, because this way you're going to get a stretch in that inner thigh that you just worked, and you're going to get a stretch in the front of the leg on your TFL, and you're going to work a little bit through your quad on the leg on the lower end. Then you'll switch. And switch. And switch. All right, we're going to come back onto hands and knees. So make your way. And you're going to need to be near a wall. But what we're going to do is we're going to push on the wall. Now, I like to use the ball or the block. So you're going to be on your hands and knees pretty close to your wall. And you're going to take that ball and you're going to put it on the wall. From there, it's got to be pretty low because you want your elbow at a 90-degree angle so that you can push. So your hand can be whatever way feels the most comfortable to give you the most amount of push. At this point in time, you also need to be long through your neck so your shoulders are away from your ears. You're going to then do a bird dog. So if you're putting the ball in your left hand, you're going to use your right leg as the lifting point. You're pushing on the ball, your abs are pulling in, you're using your glutes to maintain that, and you're going to lift the leg. So you're doing a wall bird dog. All right, so why don't you go ahead and get yourself set up. You're going to extend your right leg back, and then you're going to try to lift. You're going to hold that ball, hold that compression for 4, 3, 2, and change. You're going to use the right hand. Going to extend your left leg. Going to lift it up and push and hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go again. One more round. Pushing on the ball. Lifting the leg for 4, 3, 2, 1. And change. And we push and lift for 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. All right, guys, coming back down to seated, we're going to do a little seated cat and cow. Place your object between your knees. You're going to hold on to the back of your legs. It's a gentle squeeze inward, and you're going to round the spine like you're going to roll down, but then you're going to say, no, I'm not. I'm going to come back up. I'm going to think of pulling your chest right on through center, up and over your object. I'm really trying to use my abdominals though. I'm not relaxing my stomach at all. It is pulled in the whole time. Stomach is really strong, okay? You should sweat doing this. All right, so really belly in really strong. It's not about how far I'm rounding, it's how much I'm contracting. And then I'm gonna bring that chest through and up over the object. Now I'm working the back muscles, but I'm still gonna pull in through center. Use a little bit of the arms to help pull yourself through. Then you're gonna round. Getting a stretch and lift. And round. And lift, belly in. And round. And lift. Let's try adding breath. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. And remove your ball. We're going to do the seated 90-90. So lean back, open your legs with the knees bent, and you're going to rotate your knees to the right. And you're going to turn. Bring your left arm all the way around. And switch other side. We're going to do another glute bridge, but this time you're going to need your resistance band, because we're going to push down on the band over the hips or legs. It's going to be tight. I'm going to get my hands all the way down to the floor as I'm going to lift my hips, and then lower down when you need a break. But the back of the arms and your back muscles have to try to keep that band on the floor. If you lift your hips up and your hands come up, or they're just kind of dangling and not pushing down, then you're not going to get the arm work that we're looking for here. If you don't have a band, you can still push your arms down or your elbows down. It's just not going to be quite the same, because this really is going to work your triceps. Get yourself into position, and we're going to push it up and hold that position. Keep your neck long and your shoulders away from your ears. Hold, hold, hold. Your hips probably won't come up high at all because you're pushing those arms down. And if you've got a really strong band, it's going to be hard to do. And release. Okay, let's do a few of these. So pushing down and lift those hips up and hold. Nice long neck, shoulders away from the ears. Belly is still in a little bit, but not too much, because it's all about that arm pushing down. And relax. Let's go again. Pushing down, lifting the hips, shoulders away from the ears, belly strong. And relax. Knees come into your chest. We're going to place the object between your knees again. Grab your ball or a block, something you can hold between your legs. You're going to bring your arms out to the floor like in a V shape. Your hands can be whatever way feels most comfortable. You can make just fist or palms up, palms down. I usually just try to be neutral with fist or on the side of my hands. And we're going to move the knees a little to the right, like a windshield wiper, and a little to the left. And I'm not going to let my hip come up too much here at all. I mean, it's going to come up a little, it's like starting to shift like it's coming off, but I'm not going to really rotate and come all the way over like this. Not yet, anyhow, okay? So we're just starting that shift, exploring how this feels. Now, what am I doing? I'm also making sure I don't have a big arch in my back. We want to pull that belly in. We want to maintain that. We want to keep the knees best you can stacked over those hips and go from side to side. Not really using my arms, I'm just got them there to help give me a little bit of stability and make sure my shoulders stay down as well. And then let's take a break. Go ahead and bring your feet down to the floor, and soles of the feet are going to come together, and you're going to let your knees open to get a good stretch in this inner thighs. We've been really working the inner thigh and that pelvic floor lower ab area today. All right, next, you're going to be near your wall. If I try to reach for my wall, I'm a little too far away because I'm going to put the object on the wall. If I don't have an object, I'm going to put my hands on the wall and push. But I don't want my elbows over like my head like this. We need to be a little bit closer so that when I'm pushing on the wall, I've got my shoulders away from my ears and my elbows are bent, out in front of me and not way over my face. From here, we're going to do the toe taps. You can start with one leg at a time with both feet on the ground, lifting one knee at a time as you're pushing into the wall. That would be your beginner version. If this is too easy for you to do, you can bring both legs up and do a toe tap down instead of a knee lift up. Make sure you're pushing on your wall. And then if you're ready to take it up a notch, you can do double tap. So both toes or both heels. Heels is going to be harder than toes. So you can do both toes. You can switch it to a heel and bring it back up. Once again, we want to keep that back in from doing too much of a back bend. We really want to tuck that pelvis under. And we're going to start. You ready? You're going to push on the wall, shoulders away from the ears, and place your legs into the position that you would like to start in. And then we're going to tap it, lift it, exhale 1. Inhale, exhale 2. Inhale, exhale 3. Inhale, exhale 4. Inhale, exhale 5. Inhale, exhale 6. Inhale, exhale 7. And last one, inhale, exhale 8. Nice. Do your windshield wiper stretch. All right, we're going to come back up onto hands and knees. Now, this one is really best with the ball. We're putting the knee on the ball. But if you had a block, you could do that, but it's still not going to be the same thing because the ball is not steady. And the idea is that when I'm going to put my knee, I'm going to go on hands and knees and put one knee on the ball. And that's going to create this unsteadiness, like my hand is there, right? And so I'm working the hip socket, those little small stabilizers to say, yes, you need to learn how to be, deal with this. You have to deal with this. And that's why we use the ball on this next exercise. Now we're doing a donkey kick with the knee under the ball. So from your tabletop position, I'm going to pick my left knee. I'm going to on this ball. Then I'm going to get myself steady here. I've got to keep this toe on the ground though, because it would be way too unsteady. Okay, toe on the ground just like this. And then I'm going to lift the other knee up. From there, I want to make sure I'm really strong through my arms, and I'm going to donkey kick, bringing that free leg up into the air and then bring it back to a hover. Yes? Now, if you don't have the ball and want to make it more challenging, this would be where you could put your band around your legs right over your knees to give you a little bit more challenge. But quite honestly, my ball today is enough challenge to do a donkey kick without the band. But you could do the ball and the band if you feel like you could do it. So I am going to go here and here, and you're gonna donkey kick. Ready? We're gonna exhale when you lift the leg. Inhale, and exhale 1. Inhale, exhale 2. Inhale, exhale 3. Inhale, exhale 4. Inhale, exhale 5. Inhale, exhale 6. Inhale, exhale 7. Inhale, and 8. Good. Let's switch to the other side. Okay, guys, here we go. Inhale, exhale 1. Inhale, exhale 2. Inhale, exhale 3. Inhale, exhale 4. Inhale, exhale 5. Inhale, exhale 6. Inhale, exhale 7. Inhale, exhale 8. Alrighty, guys. What I think I've noticed though, if your ball is squishier or softer, doesn't have very much air in it, is harder. Well, it's definitely a challenge though. We're going to come onto the side for your banana, but we're going to push into the object. You can push into the floor, push into a block, or push into your ball. You're going to lie all the way down onto your side. Now, to avoid having an ouchy pain on your hip, which you still might if you get tight IT bands, you might, you want to roll forward with your hips so that you're not right on that side bone when you lift up through your legs here. Your legs can separate as well. But we're going to use the floor or the object to push down. I'm going to push down with my arm to lift my head and lift my legs. Make sure you're rolling slightly forward to come off of any painful spots, and then we'll lower down. We're going to exhale when we lift. We've got 8 of these. Inhale, exhale 1. Inhale, exhale 2. Inhale, exhale 3. Inhale, exhale 4. Inhale, exhale 5. Inhale, exhale 6. Inhale, exhale 7. And inhale, exhale 8. Switch sides. Alrighty, here we go. So you're going to push down, you're going to lift your head. You want to make sure you get good leverage and lift. Common error, people push down and roll backwards. So that's why you really want to roll forward and push down. Yes, make sure your shoulders away from your ears. And exhale 1. Inhale, exhale 2. Inhale, exhale 3. Inhale, exhale 4. Inhale, exhale 5. Inhale, exhale 6. Inhale, exhale 7. And inhale, exhale 8. Hopefully you're feeling side, back, hip, inner thigh, maybe all of it. All right, guys, you're going to come onto your stomach now. So we have a couple of options. If you have the ball, you can do the cobra roll up. So it would look like this. So the things I'm doing there is I'm pushing down into the ball, pulling back the shoulders to work underneath my lats here. And I'm also using my back muscles to strengthen those. Okay, I'm squeezing them. I'm really trying to think brain, squeeze muscles to lift my head and my shoulders up off the floor. If you don't have a ball, you could do something similar, but just use your hands on the floor. Okay. All right, here we go. Inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale, exhale 2. Inhale, exhale 3. Inhale, exhale 4. Inhale, exhale 5. Exhale 6. Exhale 7. And exhale 8. Give me a child's pose. Just stretch out that back any which way feels good to you. Coming onto hands and knees for wagging the tail. So you're going to kind of move your hips to the left, move your head to the left. So you're getting like a C curve sideways, stretching the right side of your body. And then you're going to flip that. You're going to bring your hips to the right and your head to the right, trying to make that right side shorter to make this left side longer. And switch. And switch. And switch. And switch. Coming back to seated. This is a little bit more of an advanced move. We're going to start with the knees bent. Arms are going to be out to the side, and you're going to just start moving the legs from side to side. Remember, really keep everything, especially your shoulders, down on the ground. If you feel like you could go a little bit further, you can do that. Just be slow and cautious. Try to keep both shoulders down. Only let your legs go as far as they can to the side without overdoing it. I could go all the way over, but then I'm actually resting here. I'm not making it a core exercise anymore. I've now just made it into a spinal twist. So I would rather see you only go part way like 45 degrees, because that's where it's going to be the hardest to hold, is to hold it here. Really work the abs. Hold it there. Don't be in a hurry. And then try to go to the other side. Take your time. And hold it there. When you get done, go ahead and take a break and put your feet down and windshield wiper. We will do this again, and I'll show you that you can also do it with the legs straight up, the ball between the ankles instead. You would do the same thing, it will be harder. Holding that side, hold, hold, hold. When you need to come out, switch. Go the other side. You're trying to keep your legs in line. One is not longer than the other. And take a break. Go ahead and remove your ball and stretch. Let's do a wind removing pose. So you'll extend your left leg long. You'll pull your right knee in. Pull it in towards your shoulder. Bring it out to the side as well. Kind of play with it going across the body. And then let's switch. You're going to bring the left leg in, right leg goes long. Try straight in, maybe out to the side a little bit. Try across. And then we're going to bring both legs in and open the knees. We're going to grab for your ankles or the sides of your feet. And we're going to try to just bring them in closer to the body. Not going to touch and I'm not going to pull hard because I want to keep my head and my tailbone down best I can on the floor. All right, and then if you have a ball or a block, you're going to lift your hips up and put this ball underneath your tushy. And from here, we're going to bring both legs up into the air and do L's. So you're going to extend one leg down towards the floor and actually go ahead and let that knee soften a little bit to touch the heel. The other leg you are going to try to bring as close to the face as you can, really maintaining your strong core. Then you're going to switch the legs, getting a stretch here in the back of the leg, in the top leg, and getting a stretch in the front hip flexors. Belly is in. And let's repeat one more time. Splitting L's. It's a little bit past an L shape when you use the ball. And change. Ball just makes it a little bit more comfortable. Take the pressure off your SI. And then both legs come up and you're going to flex the feet and open to a big V, stretch out those inners. One of the things I like to do, especially if you're using a ball, is bringing the feet forward towards the face and then bring the feet back to level with the hip. I think that's a really nice way to get all those muscles in the inner thigh. And then we're going to bring those legs together for figure four. Cross the right ankle over left knee, bend the knees to draw them in. But if you prefer the push away version instead, if that feels better, do that one. And change, other side. And release. Go ahead and remove your ball from underneath your tush. And we're going to roll on up to seated. We're going to come back onto hands and knees. And we're going to do a twist open. We're going to bring hand behind your back, which is probably my favorite way to do it, or to the side of your head, which is not as much fun. Okay, I don't like that one nearly as well, but it is harder to do. One of the things that I'm really trying to do though to do that is I'm pushing down into the hand that's on the floor and I'm pushing away and then I'm going to pull the belly in and then I'm just going to think rotate. Then we'll switch to the other side. Hand goes down, you're going to push down, get the shoulder away from the ear and then just turn to the side. Maybe you can see the start of your ceiling, right? Or maybe you can see most of your ceiling. It just depends on how much you can rotate. One side will be better than the other. Let's do a couple alternates here. Rotate right and left at your pace. And then we'll take a downward facing dog. Nice strong arms. Lift your hips up and stretching the back of those legs. And coming back down, cat and cow. To finish this out, we're going to relax the belly. You're going to start to look forward and think of pulling the shoulders back away from your ears. This is your inhale. And then your exhale, you're going to think of starting at your tailbone to pull it under and then start to zip up the belly button. And then you're going to start to look for the belly button, rounding through the spine ever so gently. And then slowly come back to center, neutral spine, and then we're going to do one more round. Tailbone goes up and relax your stomach, relax your back. Take the gaze forward and open up those shoulders, really get a little bit extra push in those arms. And then starting the rounding. Think of belly button comes in. Even the chin can come a little bit more to the chest. And come back to neutral. Have a seat. And we are going to do one more set of windshield wiper with rotation twist. And this is your final stretch for the day. So you're going to open up those legs. You're going to roll it up over to the right side. Really widen your legs so that when you roll, you've got a 90-degree angle best you can in the front and the back. Then you're going to keep turning to your right and bring your right elbow down. Then the left arm can either reach out long or it can just come next to your right arm. And then pushing yourself up and then unwind. And then we'll rotate to the other side. You're going to switch those legs to the left, rotate to your left, And then slowly bring the left elbow down first. And then you either can reach the right arm long, that kind of gets a little bit more stretch, or you can just bring the elbow next to the other. And then making your way back up and then unravel. Ooh. All right, guys. Well, that was it for today's Pilates style with ball workout. We'll see you next time.